Hi, Adrija. It's very nice meeting you.
Yeah,
How are
nice
you
meeting
today?
you. Yeah,
How are you today?
yes, I'm very well today. Today was a holiday because today's Saturday, so we didn't
Mhm.
have our classes today. So yeah, I was just studying a little bit.
You're studying a little bit on a holiday. What were you doing?
Yeah,
What were you studying?
I was studying science a little bit. In this evening, and in the evening I was studying a little bit of science. Otherwise, I didn't really study a lot today.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
I personally believe in sleeping a lot and getting a lot of rest,
yeah,
especially
yeah,
during online lectures. Yeah, it gets really tiring. Sitting in your desk can actually be quite tiring, which we don't
yeah,
realize.
totally.
All right. I think this is the first time that we're meeting, right, Adrija? Would you
Yes,
want to
yes.
quickly introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Adrija Biswas. I'm a student. I'm from West Bengal and I'm 14 years old.
All right, lovely. It's lovely meeting you, Adrija. I am
Yeah.
Rakshita. I am also a student. I have done my graduation in English literature and I stay at Indore.
Okay. I never really went to Indore, but I'd love to one day. Have
Lovely.
you ever been to West Bengal?
No, but I have had friends who belong to West Bengal,
Oh,
and I've consumed the amazing dishes that their mothers make, and
yeah.
I have really wanted to go and just for the food. Okay, I mean
Yeah.
everything else is also beautiful, but just for the food, I've always wanted to go there.
Yeah, it makes sense because over here we eat really delicious food.
You
You know,
definitely do.
especially the sweets. The desserts over here are really amazing. Like, if you come to West Bengal, then you need to have rasgullas, shandesh. These are some really popular sweets.
They are. And I have a huge sweet tooth. So, there's no there's no saving any sweets from me. So I would definitely devour all of them. Tell me this, Adrisha. The topic that I have for today is risk. Do you also have the same topic?
Yes, yes, yes.
All right. So tell me, are you a risk taker?
Well, I have never really came into that situation where I had to take risk. But yes, if I ever, if I ever come into that type of situation where a risk is needed to reach
Mhm.
that point of success, then of course, yes, I'm going to take a risk because on the risks will get to success.
Well, that sounds like a very fitting answer. So the first statement that you make, if it really came to, then you corrected yourself later, right? So I think you've already realized this. The
Yeah.
came would not be the right word to use here. It'll be come, right? If I ever come into this situation, if I'm ever faced, you can use the word faced also. So that'll eliminate the factor. Yeah. So you can say if I'm ever faced with this particular situation. All right. So if you have to take a risk, you would go ahead and you do something like that,
Yeah.
right? So can you remember of any instance, let's say in the past, where you've done something which is, conventionally considered risky?
Uh, not really, I'd say. I mean, like, not in my studies or something like that. But yes, one time when I went to Switzerland, at that time, I mean, we were in a cable chair. It was not just a cable chair, it was open, totally open. So you needed to sit in the chair, and it was like above the mountains. And, anything could have happened over there. I could have fallen down, I could have died, but it was worth the risk because the beautiful scenery that was there was like breathtaking. So yeah.
Wow. So then I would definitely say that you're a risk taker. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me this, Adrija, what do you think about calculated risks? Do you know the meaning of this term, first of all?
Calculated means something that is planned beforehand. Yes. So I don't really know because as I said, I'm not so much of a like I'm not like I have not taken any risks in real life in my case. So well, I think sometimes like everything needs to be planned. So
Mhm.
yes, if you plan the situation, then it will work out more efficiently than unplanned. So yes, sometimes you need to plan something, even if it is a risk or not.
True, I completely agree with you. And I personally feel, weighing the pros and cons in any situation goes a really long way. So,
Yeah.
be it a risk or be it a simple decision, I think taking a couple of minutes to think about it can really help you out.
Yes,
Right. So,
exactly.
I'll present a situation in front of you. Tell me what would you do if you had, let's say, the opportunity to take a risk at that particular instance. All right.
Okay.
So, let's say you're getting late for work, right? Either you could ride a bike, right? You have the helmet and you have the safety precautions. Either you could ride a bike, which is like slightly faster, or you could go by taxi. Which one would you pick?
I mean, which one will be faster? Bike.
Yeah, the bike would be faster, but then there are definitely the consequences of riding a bike. You could get more
Yes,
injured
yes.
if you into an accident. Hmm.
Yeah, totally. So well, it depends upon what type of work I'm doing. So well, if that is quite urgent, like it is too urgent. Suppose there is exam or something like that, then maybe
Hmm.
I need to take the bike because it's worth the risk. Because I'd not say like one time I'm going to ride the bike and an accident is going to occur. So well,
Hmm.
so yes, maybe I'd ride the bike. But if it is not that much urgent, then probably taxi would be much of a better option.
All right, that sounds like a great answer. I personally feel that riding a two-wheeler vehicle, especially when you're getting late, is more risky because you have a tendency to, let's say, take bigger risks. Let's say if I have to overtake that particular truck. And if I was on time, I would be like, that's okay. I don't need to really overtake it. But if I'm getting late, I would definitely take that chance. So also, I'm really skeptical of two-wheeler vehicles in general. So my opinion is definitely really biased. Your answer sounds more like a simple,
Yeah,
straight-headed
yeah.
answer. All right. What do you think about adventure sports? Do you think that's a risk factor you're willing to take? Yeah.
Yes, it's so cool. Like I am one time I'm going to do paragliding, of course, because I just want to. I don't think so. That's much of a risk because you are all suited. You will not fall from there. So well,
Mhm.
I would love to do paragliding one time and other adventurous sports like the sports that are on the snow, like snow biking and all those. Yes, of course. So yes, if when I grow up, I'm going to do such adventurous sports.
Lovely. That was a wonderful answer. Just a small correction. Rather than saying one time, you can say at least once, or a better word to use would be someday. All right?
Okay.
Okay. So
Yes.
one time is slightly grammatically incorrect. That's the only issue. All right.
Okay.
So someday would be a more appropriate one because you're making a presumption about the future. It's a very uncertain one. So someday would go really well. All right.
Okay.
So you wish to try out all of these adventure sports. So
Yes.
which one is the top? Which one is the highest one in your list of priorities?
As I said, paragliding. Well, because I would not do those sports. Like they are like quite risky. I have seen a lot of videos on the internet that they are just risking their life just for fun. Of course, I'm not going to do that. But just the other adventure sports that as I said, paragliding. I love to do paragliding one day. So yes, paragliding will be on the top of my list.
I see. Is it because you've seen Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, or is it because you like it in general?
No, no, I have not seen that movie yet, but yes, I just love it.
You love the activity. Wow, that's very specific. I want to know how you reached at paragliding because there's safer options. Like you can go for scuba diving, and most things would go right, right? So how come paragliding?
Well, because yes, scuba diving is like not so much of a risky sport, I'd say, because there is nothing risky in it. If you know swimming, that's all. But paragliding is like you're taking the risk, and there is an enjoyment in that you're taking a risk, and I think the scenario over there that you will see from the top of the sky would be worth the risk. So yes, paragliding for sure.
Wow, sounds like a very well charted out plan for.
Actually, I just said scuba diving. I'd love to do scuba diving. Right now, I don't really know swimming that much, but well, I'm going to learn swimming one day. I'm sure of it, and then I'm surely going to do scuba diving.
Lovely. That sounds like a plan. That's a very well charted out plan for a 14-year-old. Seems like you've given this thing some thought.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me this, Adrija, what do you like to do in your free time? How do you spend time most of the days?
Yeah, well, in my free time, I just read a couple of books. Um, any book would go, and then I love to listen to music. And I love traveling, but I don't think so that would count as what I like to do in free time. And yeah, listen to music, singing songs. These are all.
What kind of music do you usually listen to?
Um, um, Bengali, my language, then Hindi, English, all music could go for me.
What kind of music? Well, it's lovely. So, tell me this: have you ever tried singing along to English songs?
Yes, yes, I love to sing English songs more than Hindi songs.
All right, that sounds amazing. Have you ever tried rapping?
No, but I don't know. There was a song that I did that. I don't think so. It's like that much of rap. It's just a slow rap, but I don't think so. I'm good at it because I don't have anyone to tell me that whether I'm good or bad. So I don't really know how am I doing it.
True, understood. I used to sing a lot to myself too. I've been told I don't sing well, so people have stopped me from singing in public. But you should definitely try singing in public. It sounds
Yes.
fun.
I love to sing, and everyone tells me that you have a very good ability to sing, and you sing so well. But I don't know about rapping.
It's always been a stereotype that Bengali people are very wonderful at singing and great musicians also. Have you heard that
Yeah.
one?
Yes, yes, I have heard. Well, yes, there are a lot of great musicians, but that doesn't mean that everyone has to be good at singing. Because, like in my school, there are not so many of my friends who are good at singing. So not everyone, but yes, many people are really good at this culture. The culture thing in Bengal is really good.
True. I think, that's one thing that I definitely admire a lot about Bengali people, that they have a very rich culture in terms of when it comes to literature or let's say
Yes,
music. They have a very rich heritage, and then that they carry that with a lot of pride, which is amazing. I mean, that's a
yes,
wonderful thing.
yes, totally.
Definitely. So, have you ever read the works of Rabindranath Tagore, or have you listened
Yes,
to
yes,
his?
I have. Yes, like I have listened to like thousands of songs of Rabindranath Tagore. I have even tried a lot of them because if you learn to sing over here, like if you go to a tutor over here, singing tutor, the first song that they are going to teach you is Rabindra Sangeet. So, well,
Oh,
Rabindra Sangeet is quite common here. You know, if you go to a tutor, then they will teach you Rabindra Sangeet only. So, well, Rabindra Sangeet is quite common here. But about the poems and novels that he has wrote, yes, I have read some of them, and they are pretty well. They are really good. I have not read Gitanjali till now because the thing that he won the Nobel Prize for. So, I'd love to read that. It's in my bucket list.
definitely makes sense. It's in my bucket list too. I actually am planning on purchasing a very wonderful hardbound copy of it, but it's really costly, so I'm saving up. And then
Yeah.
eventually I want to get it one day. But yes, I have read a couple of his short stories and his poetry. They're very well written, definitely. So tell me this: have you ever thought of writing? Because you read a lot of books. I see that, and you like to sing. My God, that's a great combination for a poet. Go ahead.
Yes, I have even I have wrote a poem, I remember. I even won the first prize for creative writing for that in my school. But I have wrote, I'd not say a novel. It would be like a short story, but not that much short. But now when I read it, I just laugh at it. It was English because I'm not like so fluent. I am fluent in Bengali, but I sometimes make mistakes in Bengali, so I usually write in English. That novel that I wrote right now is it looks so childish that I don't read it so often. So yeah, when I get free time, I do write a little bit sometimes.
That's amazing. That's actually wonderful. Just a small correction, Adrija, before we move on. You won't say I have wrote. If you're using have, then you'll use written. Okay, I have written a couple of things before, or I wrote so and so. So you just have to remove that. Okay, that was the only thing that was messing it up. But I personally I have often done this to my work. I do write sometimes, and every time I go back, I revisit a story. I'm always like, what was I thinking? This is so childish. This does not make sense at all. So
So the,
yes, there are a lot. Writers have a tendency to be very critical of their work. So trust me, it's way better than you think it is. That I
yeah.
so have you ever tried writing diary entries so that you can keep a rhythm when you're writing?
Yes, right now I do have a diary. I'd say, well, I don't really maintain it regularly, but yes, sometimes I do. And the main thing I love is that when you read it, just like in spare time when you read it, that is the best memory of your life. So yes,
It
writing a
is.
diary is really good. Like, it will
Definitely.
bring you happiness anytime. Even if you are in a sad situation, just read the diary and you will feel cheerful. So that's it.
I love that, and I do that myself. There's one suggestion that I want you to try. Okay, there was this thing that one of my friends recommended. So all you have to do is you have to get a box. You have to lock the box. Okay, and every day you say one good thing to yourself, and you put that slip of paper in the box. And you do it for 1 month, and the next month, whenever you're feeling low and whenever you feel like I don't feel like myself today, you take out that box, you open it, and you try reading. You start reading it one by one, so you do this every month and it like goes on rotation. It's actually a
Yeah.
fun thing. Do try it out. It's supremely
That's a very
meditative.
good to hear. It's good. It's good. I have seen like they do a lot in the mirror. They paste those sticky notes where they write that you are beautiful, don't worry, everything is going to be all right, and all those good messages. And when you read that mirror, then your life is set. So that's it. It's pretty good.
Yes, I think having a little bit of positivity around always goes a long way. Always does. All right, Adrija, we're coming to an end. We're almost coming to an end. I genuinely enjoyed talking to you. You had very few mistakes, very few errors, but mostly in tenses. But I feel like those are things that you know. You sort of said that in a flow. I saw your face when I corrected them. You knew your mistakes. So I don't think that's an issue at all. You speak wonderfully well. I want you to keep practicing and keep reading. And I hope I see you soon.
Yes, yes, sure. It was nice. It was so nice to meet you.